Greetings and salutations. I still don't have a good spot in this apartment to film anything yet. Also, yes, I'm in a wig. No, that's not a reason. My hair looked gross and I didn't want to deal with it. And I've never really worn this wig. It was a wig that I got for Lord of the Rings musical opening night because I wanted like long hair that I could braid to be elven. Hi. I don't know what the fuck video to make. There's a few that I want to make that all require lots of time and I've been super busy and I am like slacking on my upload schedule. But if you miss me, I've been Twitch streaming 3 times a week, so come hang out on my Twitch streams. But anyway, I thought something that could be fun or soul crushing, depending on how you view it. I wanted to read some Am I the Asshole posts because I love podcasts and videos that are just reading Am I the Asshole. I find it really fun. I find it more fun to have the stories be like read to me rather than reading them myself. So I thought I would make something like that, but with a twist. I'm going to specifically be reading applications, that's not the word. I'm gonna be reading posts, entries, whatever you want to call them, submissions that have to do with cosplay because I know a little bit about it. All right, we're gonna start with the top one when I searched the word cosplay. Am I the asshole for being embarrassed of my girlfriend's cosplay? My 25 male girlfriend, 24 female, I'm assuming, had a double mastectomy 5 years ago. She had breast cancer and thankfully made a full recovery. Unlike a lot of women, she didn't have any reconstructive surgery. This was before I met her. I'm a big anime nerd, and last weekend I invited her to a small anime con with me. She's seen a few episodes of my favorite shows, but she's not into anime. She does like cosplay though, and she works seasonally as an SFX artist at a haunted house near us. That's cool as shit. So when I asked her to go to the con with me, she asked if she could cosplay, and I said sure. She got very excited and said I was going to love her costume, so I'll admit I thought she was going to do something sexy for me. Well, not exactly. The day of the convention comes and she showed up at my house cosplaying Darby from My Hero Academia. I hope I said that name right, I actually haven't seen My Hero. Specifically a look he has later in the manga. It's a long white coat over white pants, no shirt. Her entire chest was exposed and she'd obviously spent hours applying burn makeup. She has short hair that she dyes constantly. This time she bleached it white and dyed a few red streaks. I wasn't expecting her to show up without a shirt. Her burn scar makeup only covered half her chest, so you could clearly see her mastectomy scar. It wasn't a very attractive costume, especially since she'd gone all out with the scars and made them look raised and kind of realistic. We went to the con, and while a lot of people came up to take photos of her, I noticed several others looking at her chest. That evening, she said I'd been quiet all day, and I honestly told her I was a little embarrassed that she was flaunting her mastectomy scar like that. She got mad and said she was making the best of her situation and said I was being insensitive, and she's been distant ever since. I'm starting to feel guilty. Am I the asshole? Well, yes. That's fucking crazy, bro. That is actually wild and insane. Like, I don't want to, I try to always give people the benefit of the doubt with these stories, but that's honestly crazy. First of all, the assumption that she likes cosplay, that she's going to do something sexy for you, don't like that. She got excited about cosplay because, as you said, she likes the art of cosplay. She loves SFX makeup. This was a great time and excuse for her to do SFX makeup. The assumption that the cosplay was going to be for you, immediately don't love that. And the assumption that it would be sexy for you, really don't like that. If that's something she wants to do and has expressed that, cool. Don't expect that though. That's crazy. But also, your girlfriend had a surgery that saved her life and she had battle scars from it. That's fucking cool and badass. Being embarrassed about that is really yucky. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, don't be embarrassed about scars that your girlfriend has from surgeries that to save her from fucking, she had cancer. She has scars because she's fucking is a survivor and a trooper. Fuck yeah, that looks cool as shit. Anyway, yeah, you're the asshole. I actually don't think there's like many layers. There are people who would disagree. I think that guy's like pretty squarely the asshole. Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter's girlfriend come over anymore after my husband got visibly attracted to her in cosplay? Dear fucking God, okay. I'll be honest, I usually do not like using Reddit to talk about my personal life, but I feel too embarrassed to talk about this with my own family and friends. I'm 42, married to my husband, David, 45, and we have a 17-year-old daughter, Katie. She's been out for a few years now and has been with her girlfriend, Jenna, also 17, for about 6 months. They've known each other since they were 13, 14. Jenna's a sweet kid, polite, enthusiastic, a little on the theatrical side, but nothing out of the ordinary for teenagers. I've always tried to be supportive of Katie and her relationship. Jenna's been over plenty. Dinners, sleepovers, weekends spent on the couch watching movies. I never had any issue with her. David's relationship with Katie has been very tense since she hit puberty. They don't connect very well. She doesn't trust him the same way she trusts me. He tries to be funny and involved, but says things that miss the mark or rub her the wrong way. It doesn't help that he said some uncomfortable things in the past about her being gay. Not hateful, but ignorant enough that I've had to talk to him more than once about how he comes across. And to be completely honest, our marriage hasn't exactly been solid. A few years ago, I found messages between him and a woman from his workplace. He insists it wasn't a full-blown affair, but there was emotional intimacy, late-night texting, jokes that crossed lines. We almost split, but decided to work it out. Things have been rocky ever since. I've tried to rebuild some trust, but it's hard when I've caught him looking at stuff online that turns my stomach. It's not illegal, but it's the kind of thing that makes me feel like I don't really know who he is when no one's looking. A few days ago, Katie and Jenna were finishing up their cosplays for San Diego Comic-Con, and I was casually hanging out with them in case they needed help with anything they couldn't fix themselves. Jenna was cosplaying as Raven from Teen Titans. She'd obviously put a lot of effort into it. It was a tight-fitting, low neckline boots, the whole thing. Typical for a convention, nothing scandalous. But it was definitely eye-catching. She was excited, Katie was helping her with the zipper, and they were laughing in the hallway when David walked by. I saw him look at Jenna. It wasn't just a passing glance. He slowed down, looked her over, and there was this expression on his face I hadn't seen in years. He didn't say anything then, but later he brought it up, made a vague comment about how different she looked and how he hadn't expected that kind of transformation. He tried to make it sound casual, but it made me feel gross. Later that night, he brought it up again. Not directly about the cosplay, just casually referencing how different Jenna looked now and how she wasn't a little kid anymore. He tried to play it off like he was just surprised by how much she's grown over the years, but I knew better. I know what I saw and it sickened me. I couldn't stop going over it in my head. I couldn't stomach the idea of her walking around here again, not knowing what I know. The next morning, I told Katie that Jenna couldn't come over for a while. I told her it was because of the cosplay, that it crossed a line, that it wasn't appropriate in the house. I didn't tell her the real reason, not exactly, but she clearly picked up on it. She immediately accused me of being unfair, of turning something innocent into something perverted. She said I wouldn't react the same way if Jenna were a guy and I was sexualizing her for no reason. She was furious. Now, Katie won't even look at me or speak to me. Jenna's mum texted me and said her daughter is devastated and thinks she embarrassed herself just by dressing up. I feel like I made everything worse, but I panicked. I wasn't thinking about fairness. I was thinking about getting that situation out of my house before it escalated. Now that I'm typing it out, I understand why it probably comes off like that I'm blaming her for how my husband reacted. Maybe I should have said something to David instead. All I wanted was to make sure Jenna was never seen that way ever again by my husband. Dear fucking God. Okay. This is complicated as shit. Yeah, your husband is gross. Your husband is the problem. Your husband is a creep. He is looking at a minor that he has known since she was a child in that way, which is really, really just like point blank, immediately gross, awful, inappropriate, whether or not there was any history with him looking at inappropriate or concerning things online in his free time, whether there was distrust in the relationship. I honestly think all of that aside, him very clearly being attracted to your daughter's girlfriend, who he has known since she was a child, who is still a minor, really, really awful, uncomfortable. He is the problem. But I also understand, and it sounds like more so than anything necessarily that you're displeased with that Jenna did. It sounds like you just don't want it to become unsafe. I would hope that that is the case, at least, that it's not fears about your marriage. It is you not wanting to put your daughter's girlfriend in an unsafe situation. I assume and hope that that is the place you're coming from. And I understand the panic and the desire to just make sure that you're not putting, that there's not an environment for that to grow in. However, you've placed the blame on her, and she is a 17-year-old who has now been told she can't visit her girlfriend's house and now has to carry the weight of feeling like she did something wrong, and that is very complicated, and that was the wrong call. She needs to know that it wasn't anything that she did, and you need to have one or many conversations with your husband. I think the better thing to do would be to eliminate him from the scenario, but I understand that that is very fucking complicated and not that simple. But the person who is in the wrong is the husband. The person who is potentially going to make people uncomfortable, make people unsafe, is your husband. That's a lot to swallow, that's a lot to carry, but that is the reality of that situation. So medium assholery. I'm in a better frame. I'm like kneeling and my knees hurt like a bitch. But anyway, am I the asshole? I told my girlfriend I didn't want to hear about her cosplay hobby anymore. I, 23 male, and my girlfriend, 20 female, have been going out for almost 10 months now. We've known each other for 3 years and she's been the complete opposite of me. She is a cosplayer, which is the main point. She's cosplayed so many people, and before we got together, her outfits were either super conservative or very revealing. She's outgoing, charismatic, intelligent, and kind, and very confident in herself, whereas I'm not. Recently, it's been brought to my attention by her that she's gonna start making her cosplay. She chose Merlin from SDS. The outfit is very revealing, and although it's more cheeks than anything, I ended up telling her that I no longer wanted to hear about her cosplay. I said it makes me feel weird that she chooses these outfits to wear out of like the other ones she's done before. Didn't want to hear about any updates with her cosplay or her conventions, only that she's alive and safe. She mentioned that she's always cosplayed outfits like that and refuses to change her cosplay and called me insecure. It's been almost 2 weeks since our conversation and she's still upset with me about it, but I think she's being ridiculous. Am I the asshole? Yeah, you're the asshole. It sounds like they are someone who has always cosplayed like that, and that cosplay is a hobby and a passion for them. And I can't speak for everyone, but like as a cosplayer, the choice to wear a revealing costume is not because I want other people to to stare at me and to think gross things or to want to sleep with me. It's because you like that character design, you think it would be fun to make, or you love that character and you just want to bring that character to life, and that is just the design of their character. If she is confident in her body, then this is not going to be about her wanting other people's validation. And it sounds like you've been together for a while now. There are no reasons for you that you've mentioned for you to feel insecure in your relationship or like that she's being unfaithful. I think this is the same as like men who tell their girlfriends that they can't wear a short dress when they go out because they presume that anything they wear is for the attention of others rather than for wanting to feel confident and nice in something for themselves. And I think cosplay is like an even stronger version of that. Like cosplay is not about, at least for most cosplayers, again, I can't talk for like everyone in the community, but like it's not because you want other people to validate you. It's because you love the art of creating or performing in cosplay and you want to bring that character to life or challenge yourself by making a specific piece. It sounds like you are insecure and you are the asshole in that scenario. Also, just point blank to be like, there's a hobby you love and are passionate about and I don't want to hear anything about it as your partner. You're the asshole. Sorry. Am I the asshole for not wearing the cosplay costume my husband made me? Okay, a little background first. I, 26 female, is married to Eric, 26 male, for 2 years now. We met at a Comic-Con type event and immediately hit it off. We both share a love towards cosplay, video games, and a lot more. I was into cosplay since I was a kid. In college, I found some like-minded friends and we were hitting many comic conventions with our awesome costumes. But I was never a good designer nor a seamstress. It was always buy something that I like and do little mods and that accessories kind of deal, but I enjoyed it a lot. It was during this time I met Eric, and oh golly, he's a master designer and he's good with electronic stuff too. He makes these really awesome costumes with lights and stuff that is on another level when compared with what I do. His proudest achievement is an Iron Man costume with a light-up art reactor, eyes and palm rockets, which is a sight to behold at night. Anyway, after we met, he made costumes for me also, and we hit conventions like it's no one's business. Okay, coming to the problem now. My college friends invited me to a convention a month ago, and I said yes. I decided to go with Starlight from the boys. I did not mention this explicitly to Eric. Today, Eric surprised me with an ongoing project of ours. We were on our way making a Millennia costume, Elden Ring, for me, for a convention that's later this year. Eric had finished the costume early to surprise me for the convention next week. Mind you, this is a very complicated piece to put on and it has some electrical plugs too, while putting it on, which I'm not too comfortable doing alone. I said I'd already decided on going as Starlight and he asked to show the costume, so I showed the one-piece Starlight costume I got for this event. He said it was a typical slutty hot girl costume and I said, maybe I want to be a slutty hot girl with my friends and not be completely out of place at a not too fancy convention with a fancy, sophisticated costume. I just wanted to be simple and feel sexy in my hometown with my old friends. You could see that he was very hurt by my remark and I said I can still wear to the original convention according to our plans. He said I should still have mentioned my costume plans earlier, so he could not have rushed the Millennia costume. Then I told him that he should have asked me first and that it's not his responsibility to make my costumes for everything. He had to leave for work, so this is where we stand now. Sorry for the long rant. I'm typing this all to calm down my nerves a bit because we've never had an argument of this magnitude before. Am I the asshole here? P.S. I read this all again and I want to clarify that when he said slutty, it was not disrespectful. We review a lot of costumes on our first time and we give them a sluttiness ranking out of 10 amongst other scores. I've worn 10 out of 10 sluttiness costumes with and without him before and it's not an issue, it's just that he thinks the store-made ones are too generic. I don't think anyone's really the asshole here. It's just like very understandable how on both sides. He put a lot of time and effort into finishing the costume early for you and was really, really excited to surprise you with it, which is a lovely gesture. And he obviously had a lot of expectations about you being really, really excited and thinking that this was a wonderful thing that he did. But it's also very understandable that, yeah, it's a piece that you don't feel comfortable putting on alone, that is maybe a little bit overkill for this. And you also had your expectations and hopes up to wear the cosplay that you've planned with your friends and you've spent money on that. And yeah, it's fun to wear a simple one before. Like, and I understand that, you know, as someone who does master builds and all things like that, he probably does think store-bought cosplays are a little generic, but there's nothing wrong with that. And he probably also can rationally understand that when he's not emotional. It sounds like it is unfortunately a thing where, like, I understand him being hurt, but I also understand that you don't want to change your plans and you have very valid reasons for not wanting to. He tried to do a very nice thing, and to hold that over your head is a little unfair, but I'm sure that is also something he would be able to recognize rationally at another time. Am I the asshole for prioritizing my competition cosplay over my brother's costume? I, 14 female, have an older brother, 16 male, who despises the fact that I cosplay and only seems to tolerate it when I can do something for him with the skills I gained cosplaying. I recently got into competitive cosplay and I'm currently working on a really complicated build for a competition next month. I was at a thrift store with my family looking for curtains or bed sheets to make the large white part of the costume when I find the most beautiful pure white bed sheet for only $2. When Jay, my brother, grabs it and says, "You can use this to make my Jesus costume." I, being confused, told Jay that this wasn't for his Jesus costume and I was never informed that I had to make him a Jesus costume. He said that he assumed I would make it for him, but because it's summer, I asked what it was for because he hates cosplay, conventions, and everything similar to that. Apparently it was for a wrong occasions party in 1 week. Jay told me that I could use most of the sheet for his costume and use the rest for my cosplay. I told Jay that making the Jesus costume would take a long time and that just the scraps aren't enough for what I'm trying to make. He called me a manipulative bitch, said that his friend's mom could do it in an hour. I then told him to find his own bedsheet and have his friend's mom make it if she could do it so much better than me. Jay called me a couple of slurs and left. It's been a few days and he's still mad and I kind of feel bad because my competition is in a month and his party is in a few days. So am I the asshole? Edit 1. Realized I should add an explanation as to why Jesus costume would take me so long. I don't have a sewing machine and I don't understand patterns, so I self-pattern and hand sew everything. And I mean everything, even the shorts I wear under skirts. I'm also a huge procrastinator and have unmedicated ADHD. I'm kept on track by Woolswood's full discovery and a 6-pack of cherry coke during all-nighters. Yeah, look, you're not the asshole. Your brother is the asshole because he, one, didn't ask you before this, sprung this on you, assumes that materials you were sourcing would be for him, and then calls you slurs and a manipulative bitch for trying to prioritize yourself. Had he asked you when he found out about the party kindly if you could make him a costume, would be a completely different thing. He went about everything to do with this the wrong way and was rude about it. He's a 16-year-old boy, but you're his 14-year-old sister with a hobby and he's trying to get you to do a favor for him, so he should be kinder about it. There's no excuse for his behavior. He's the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriends that her cosplay is incorrect? Me, 23 female, and my girlfriend, 24 female, were gonna go to an event and cosplay as a couple. This is a cosplay picnic outside. She was going as a character from a show we like, and I was going as a character this character ends up in a relationship with. Her character is a butler, but hasn't always been that. This is important. We're both gonna base our costumes on the movie costume so that we could match. Her character does not wear white gloves in the movie and haven't worn them since the first season of the series. White gloves are therefore very inaccurate for this character. She still made white gloves for her cosplay. I think there is some Mandela effect going on because she swore the white gloves were in the movie, but he doesn't wear the white gloves in the movie. And the movie poster clearly shows him without white gloves. I said it's inaccurate and that she shouldn't wear them. A lot of the people in our cosplay group are very strict on accuracy, and I was afraid they were going to point it out and make it awkward for her at the picnic, so I'd rather point it out to her at home. She got upset with me and says I'm wrong, but also always nitpicking. I said I'm not nitpicking and I'm not wrong, and that butlers shouldn't wear white gloves. She said the brim of my hat is 1 inch too big for the era and I should focus on that instead. She's a milliner focusing on historical hats. I said the character has a large brim in the movie and that it's a movie inaccuracy, not an inaccuracy from my side. She said she's not going with me to the picnic if I'm gonna be an R-word about this. I said I won't go with her if she's gonna look like an idiot in her white gloves. She went to the picnic alone and now she's mad at me and saying I was an asshole about the situation. Should I have left it alone? Am I the asshole for criticizing her cosplay? Edit, she sometimes will talk and laugh about other people's costumes, wrong waistlines or materials mostly, if they are wrong, so I thought she was okay with me discussing things wrong with her costume, but now everything's blown out of proportion. I'm gonna talk with her later. Kind of sounds like both of you are assholes. Telling her cosplay isn't accurate is kind of an asshole move in general, but I understand that if there's a pressure in this group for accuracy and you didn't want someone else to say something in case that was going to be embarrassing for her later on, you wanted to point it out at home first, cool. But then saying she shouldn't wear it or that it's wrong and really doubling down on that, not a great look. It sounds like she's also an asshole with pointing out inaccuracies of other people's cosplays. Let people, it's a fucking hobby. It's a hobby. Let people do what they want to do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You both went about that the wrong way. Don't like using the R word. Yeah. Am I the asshole for not letting my 13-year-old wear her cosplay in public? Hey Reddit, I need some opinions because I sure feel like the asshole, but don't know if it's I'm the parent and sometimes putting the foot down sucks, or if I'm a genuine asshole. I'm so sorry if you can hear all the fucking noise outside my apartment. My 13-year-old girls love anime. My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer are their jam. They're also the weird kids, especially this particular 13-year-old in question, as she's gay/bi, unsure, and that's cool, as well as goth/emo and an anime nerd. They love YouTubers and all things social media. All in all, great kids, hearts of gold, if not a little kid-ish for this generation. They got Demon Slayer costumes this year for Christmas. Full, almost $100 a pop costumes. They are amazing and detailed with ribbons and clips, mouthpieces, kimonos, the works. One of my girls wants to wear her cosplay everywhere. To the large main shopping center, to the park, walking down the street. I told her no, mostly because it's expensive, but also we live in the quote unquote, I feel uncomfortable saying this word, but it's the word they've used, ghetto. There are crackheads and crack houses 2 streets away. People who don't understand / get nerd culture because that isn't a part of their culture / growing up. I don't want my 13-year-old child getting harassed, yelled at, possibly grabbed at / her costume torn because other people are assholes and bullies. She said people wear them to the shops on YouTube videos and I explained that's for views and money. That's not real life. I said I would try to find her a cosplay group in our area so she can wear it too. Take her to cons next year, fingers crossed, but she's just hysterically sobbing, locked herself in her room and asked what's the point, and it's breaking my heart. No part of it is because a girl she's crushing on is going to the park in her costume, supposedly. But still, it would kill me if she got harassed or laughed at or pushed because of it. Reddit, am I the asshole for wanting to protect my kid? Absolutely not. It's a very complicated thing because I know that if I was the daughter in question, I would also be gutted and I would be in my bedroom sobbing and I would be very, very upset about it because cosplay is this thing to be excited about and this essence of expression, especially at that age. But at that age, you're also not going to understand the very real risks about it. You're not wanting your daughter to be like harassed or grabbed at is so valid. I think if you would, just like don't wear it to the mall because you might get made fun of, like that is kind of her decision. But when it comes to safety and you having concerns about the particular area you're in, whoa, Percy. Safety about the particular area you're in and people not understanding cosplay and that maybe making, attention likely to be drawn to her, I think that's very fair and very valid. And I think, again, the fact that you were trying to come up with alternative occasions and spaces that she could wear it to so that she still has that place of self-expression, it truly shows how much you care. And it is coming from just a place of pure concern. So no, I do not think you are the asshole. Am I the asshole for returning a wedding dress into a cosplay rather than letting my cousin have it for her wedding? I, 27 female, am an avid cosplayer. My girlfriend, 28 female, and I go to conventions all weekend and have a lot of fun making our costumes together and prepping for the year. 3 months ago, I, my girlfriend, and my cousin, 30 female, went around charity shops looking for pieces we could turn into cosplays. My cousin isn't a cosplayer, but she tagged along because she likes a good bargain hunt. In the third shop we went to, we found in the window an old school wedding dress. It had a few stains and minor rips, but all in all was in good condition. My girlfriend and I joked with my cousin that she should buy it for her wedding, but she turned her nose up at it, stating she wanted brand new and she'd not be caught dead in an old-fashioned dress. We let it go, and my girlfriend was the one to point out to me if we did some alterations, it'd be a perfect dupe for Sarah's ball gown and Jim Henson's Labyrinth, which is our favourite movie. I realised she was right and asked her if she wanted to make this our next major matching costume. She agreed. For the convention season of 2025 it will be Jareth and Sarah. I bought the dress and my cousin made a few jokes about it, but we heard nothing back from her, not until 2 days ago. I've been posting progress of my dress on social media and it's finally done and looks amazing. My cousin told me she's not found a dress she likes and I've done wonders with this dress, that she'd changed her mind and she'd be happy to meet the price I'd paid, £150, and even throw in an extra £100 for my time fixing it up. I laughed and asked if she was joking. She told me she was deadly serious and I told her that wasn't happening. This led to a fight and I was getting annoyed. My girlfriend took the phone at this point and told her she had her chance to get the dress and that it's a cosplay now, not a wedding dress. We've since been bombarded by my family trying to get in contact, some pleading, some trying to cajole, and others straight up berating us for not letting my cousin buy the dress, or even better yet, being a good cousin and gifting it to her, that I shouldn't turn a charity shop wedding dress into a costume as it stops brides who really needed it from having it. I'm getting stressed and upset with this, and my girlfriend is currently fielding any calls we get and telling them off for upsetting me. She's a wonder, and I am so grateful to have her with me for this. Am I the asshole though? I'm starting to worry because of the widespread reaction. This is my first time I've bought a wedding dress to convert like this, but it was already damaged and I've brought it back to life. Surely it's better than it being ignored like it was. You're absolutely not the asshole. The thing about charity shops is it doesn't actually matter what the occasion you're purchasing it for is, as long as you're not being an asshole and buying something specifically to just sell it for more on like Depop or whatever, then I have an issue with that, and I think a lot of people do. But if you're buying an item for cosplay, that is so valid. There's a lot of things like wedding dresses, ball gowns, things that are so fucking expensive to make from scratch or hard to source or anything like that for cosplay, that charity shops are the best things for. I fucking always encourage people to find cosplay pieces at charity shops. Your cousin is an asshole for actively saying they don't want the dress, then letting you take it, work on it, turn it into your baby, your project, spend all this month's work, and then expecting you to gift it back after you've gotten attached because you had a specific thing from the get-go in mind that you used it for. If she wanted the dress and to do alterations on it, she had an opportunity at the time. She explicitly scoffed and turned her nose up at that. If she has regrets, unfortunately, that's her own fault and something she has to deal with and process. You are under no obligation. You are not the asshole for not wanting to give it to her. Am I the asshole for holding my friend's costume hostage? For background, I, 22 male, am a cosplayer who specializes in armor and prop design. My friend, Kitty, 20 female, is also a cosplayer, but she specializes more on makeup and other aspects. The local convention in our area is coming up, and Kitty decided that she wanted to cosplay her favorite anime character for the costume contest. This character has a lot of cybernetic elements, and she has never made cosplay armor before, so I decided I wanted to try and help her out. I'll admit I was very excited to make this for her, not only to show off my skill, but also just to get closer with my friend. We'll also note here that my love language is gift giving, so I'm constantly buying and making things for Kitty. I started dedicating all of my time to making this cosplay for her, pretty much getting all of the base done within the past month. I would text Kitty with progress pictures constantly, and she always seemed excited to see it. However, as I finally started to finish the build, she became less and less excited. Finally, she texted me asking if I would just send her the pieces so that she could do the rest herself. I was a bit confused and asked her why, and she told me that it upset her that I wasn't letting her contribute to her own costume. I told her it was better for me to do it because I was experienced, and she responded that she didn't care. This was her costume and she wanted to be the one to build and design it, and she was starting to lose interest because I was taking the fun out of it. I tried to explain that I just wanted to do something for her and I already had the stuff to finish it, and she got really upset. Kitty sent me a long text explaining how she never asked me to do this for her, and when I offered to help, she thought it meant I would teach her. She then called me selfish and said I wasn't thinking about how she felt. I got offended by this because I was doing all of this for her and she didn't seem to understand that. I told Kitty if she was that insistent on making it herself, she was welcome to do so and I would throw everything away. She called me a selfish asshole and stopped talking to me. Kitty still isn't talking to me, but my mutual friends have also reached out to call me an asshole. Another friend that was cosplaying with us said I shouldn't be petty and just give her the part of the cosplay I made instead of holding them hostage. I'm confused because I don't think I'm holding the costume hostage if she didn't want it in the first place. We still have a month left, so if she wants to rebuild it, she can. However, my friends insist I give what I made to Kitty since I had offered to make it for her in the first place and there was no point in being petty, so am I the asshole? Yeah, you're the asshole. It sounded initially like a failure of communication. You know, I also would assume if you offered to help and you had experience with something that you were going to teach or it was going to be a joint thing, even if you took the helm with it. I have a lot of friends who are very experienced in certain aspects of cosplay and they will help me do things, and we discuss about whether or not they're going to help me, that we like discuss the levels of what they're going to do versus me. That's a conversation that's had, unless it's something that they're surprising me with as a gift, and that's usually not something that I have communicated with them. That is something that like I want to be working on. It sounds like she was very, very clear and explicit at some points in time, saying that she felt hurt, that you were taking complete control over this. She wanted to feel involved. She wanted to enjoy the process of building it. And rather than being empathetic and understanding where she was coming from, you doubled down and decided to be petty. So completely throwing out the work when that at least would help her and she can finish it, rather than saying, I misunderstood, I am sorry, I would love to teach you something in the future. I completely misunderstood this. I was trying to do a kindness by you, and giving her the pieces to finish is what you should have done. You've decided to be petty and be shitty. You're the asshole. And the specific phrasing of like, how am I, you know, selfish when I've been doing it for her, even though the costume is for her, it sounds like you've been doing it purely motivated by your own enjoyment and your own desire to do it. Even when the recipient is still someone else, if your motivations are because you want to do the thing, you're still doing it for yourself, I fear. Alrighty, I was going to read some more, but I feel like they've all taken up quite a bit of time, and I don't want this video to be insanely long. Don't want it to be too much for you all to sit through. I feel like 20 minutes-ish is a good rule to aim for. But if anyone enjoyed this, let me know. If you want to do some more cosplay Am I the Assholes or other specific topics, let me know what ones. Let me know. I'd be happy to do this. This is something that's very easy for me to film when when I don't have as much time, so please let me know. But thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe or like this video, it would help me out a lot. God bless. If you want to follow me on social media, all of that will be linked below. I am a cosplayer. I post primarily on TikTok and Instagram. Everything will be linked below. Follow me there. I also have a Patreon, passes, places where you can get bonus content, cosplay and non-cosplay, if anyone's interested in that. But thank you so much to everyone who supports me in those ways, and especially thank you to everyone on Patreon who is One with the Force or Ashlee's favorite goblins, because you're my favorite goblins and I love you. Thank you very much. I will see you very soon. Mwah!